All right, so in this summer heat, I avoid exercising my legs because I sweat too easy when it's hot out. I find that just pacing at the very least, I find that I want to do more exercises where I'll generate the most wind, just keep cool and still get some exercise. The static exercises where I'll squat with these 4-footers. I sit in one place and just start overheating, just start sweating. Because what is it, maybe in the mid 70s right now? And I got, a couple shirts on and pants. If I took these off, just wore shorts and a t-shirt, maybe it would be a little bit better, but not by much. I find myself trying to reduce the amount of exercise I do in the summertime, especially at night, especially during the day, and also at night. I try to focus my exercise in the morning time when I have the opportunity, but a lot of times I'll wake up in a Walmart parking lot or Target or a grocery store parking lot, and I'm kind of slow to leave. There's no way, it's extremely rare that I'm exercising in their parking lot. There are moments where I find opportunity, but it's pretty rare. So and also just it's a kind of a motivation thing. I've been seeing in the debates, or I've been seeing people challenging motivation versus discipline for exercise. I have to admit, I'm really motivation based. I have to be motivated to do the exercise. But I mean, also the weather has a lot of influence too. When it gets too hot, I want to avoid exercise, or at least, just engage in the exercises where I get more wind. In the winter time, also it could get too cold to the point where I just don't have energy and I just want to stay snuggled in my sleeping bags. So the extremes really get me. And the environment, the opportunities, there's a whole host of factors. Just, the energy level too. That's a bit of a factor. But discipline, I can't work through discipline when like the weather's not right, when I'm not feeling right. And I've gone back and forth about the discipline issue. I feel that if I don't feel alert, I think I'm gonna injure. I feel like I'm gonna injure myself. I feel like the injuries can increase if I try to force myself to exercise when I don't want to. I don't want to borrow time. I feel like it's kind of borrowing energy, trying to, because I could force myself to exercise with the aid of caffeine, do like a shot of caffeine, have a cup of coffee or something, and then I would be full of energy, but I would be borrowing that time and paying for it later down the road. So discipline, I could have that cup of coffee every day in the morning for the workout, have that coffee and then go at it at the gym on a scheduled basis with the discipline. But I'm borrowing that time to be paid back later, and I really am not enthused about that. I'd rather rest when I'm tired and exercise when I got the energy, because I notice myself I notice I have an up and down, like, let's say up and down, chaotic, like the energy levels are constantly changing. When I had a cat in my car for 4 days, it really showed a wide range of energy. Sometimes it was so full of energy it didn't want to be held. It just it wanted to run around on its own and just act crazy. And then other times it's dead tired. You couldn't disturb it. I could pick it up and it would hardly move. It would just want to continue resting. Its energy levels are up and down. I think that's healthy. I think it's really healthy to have like a wide range. I think the wider range your energy levels are, the healthier you are. If you're just in this zombie-like plateau from morning till from sun up to sundown, and you have trouble sleeping on top of that, I don't think it's good to have that level. I think it's good to just have an extreme amount of energy at some point. Maybe you go the whole day not having that elevated level of energy. But as long as it happens within a week or so, with every few days, you get a burst of energy that you just want to burn out quick, and then sleep deeply at night, or have a nice nap too. Just have a nice deep, restful sleep, because that seems to be what life is about. Have a nice, restful sleeps, and great bursts of energy, whether it be strength or just like an endurance run, a sprint. And I get that, and sometimes I suppress that burst of energy because I'm like, I don't know, just for example, I'm sitting in a Walmart parking lot. What do I do with the burst of energy? That is frustrating. A child could just unleash their energy because maybe they have trouble just holding it back, but adults, a cat can unleash that energy. It's just natural. Or any animal, get that burst of energy and just run with it until you're tired, and then have a nice restful sleep afterward. But living in these modern days, it's so difficult to work with bursts of energy. Sometimes people might call the cops on you for trying to express that burst of energy. They'll call you manic and have the police talk to you. And then you got the police trying to tell you to calm down, when you really should be letting out that energy, that free-flowing energy that wants to be let out. Because if it's not, it collects in the body as stress, and I think it damages the body more than letting that energy out. But it's so unpredictable. It doesn't always work on a perfect schedule. Sometimes you could wake up at like 3 a.m. with a nice burst of energy that you just, I mean, depending on the situation, I like to think of what would the pioneers would do if the pioneers woke up at 3 a.m. with a burst of energy. They're not really going to be able to just go outside and run. So sometimes, that's suppression that probably needs to happen, but it's happening too much. I don't think the need to suppress bursts of energy were as great back 100 years ago as they are now, when we're in bigger congested cities. Well, for the congested cities. But even in the countryside too, neighbors watch each other kind of closely. I'm looking for private areas sometimes, and yeah, it's very rare I could just find a spot to go do some sprints And I think my desire to do sprints is lowering. I'm not really engaging in that as much these days. It kind of saddens me. I know 10, 15, 20 years ago, I'd be very frustrated. I'd really want to just go out and run, do some sprints, blow out that excess energy to feel good. It does feel good. But now I have my problems. I've noticed I've got more gas now that collects in my stomach, leading to burping. Things, my tissues I have more balled up tissues that are stuck energy, that have been stuck for, I think, a long time. Just all this burping I'm doing, that's a result of some kind of stuck energy that has now resulted in a permanent damage. Nobody burps as much. Nobody should be burping as much as I have been over the past year or so. It's stuck energy that is manifested into a real bad physical problem. But I gotta say, I got energy right now, and just doing at least a little pacing and trying to tense my shoulders against the stick really helped for at least for some energy, or for some exercise, and also just to create wind. I want to create as much wind for myself as possible in my exercises in this hot weather. And this is a pretty good one. I mean, yeah, bicycling is going to maximize wind, but you really got to pay attention to where you're going and all of that while bicycling. With this, I can kind of zone out, and I won't get in as bad of an accident. So just communicating here.